Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the country's Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, approves AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. Local governments are working double time to prepare for the arrival of COVID-19 vaccine shots. And later, we'll talk about why Metro Manila mayors want NCR to remain under general community quarantine for yet another month. Valenzuela Mayor Rex Gatchalian and Navotas Mayor Toby Tiangco join us live. Regulators approve another COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use in the country, but despite this, Filipinos will still have to wait before the immunization begins. Carolyn Bonkin has the details on the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Purchasing the AstraZeneca vaccine.
The government and the private sector have secured 17 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine last November and in early January. By January 28th, it's official. The COVID-19 vaccine developed by AstraZeneca and University of Oxford can now be used in the country. Philippine medical and regulatory experts found it safe and effective.
It is decided that all conditions for an EUA are present and that the benefit of using the vaccine outweighs the known and potential risk.
AstraZeneca uses a non-replicating chimpanzee adenovirus to help the body fight the SARS-CoV-2.
You have a gene that is inserted into the vector. It will not cause disease. And it provides our body with the instruction to produce the proteins that we need to recognize COVID.
It is given in 2 doses. The first dose provides 70% efficacy, protecting a person from getting severe COVID infection.
Ibig po sabihin, kahit yung mga nagkasakit, hindi grabe yung kanilang nagiging sakit.
The efficacy rate increases after the second dose, given between 4 to 12 weeks after the first dose. Among the recorded side effects are pain and tenderness in the injected area, fatigue, headache, feverishness, and muscle pains like that of other existing vaccines.
It must be noted that this reflects limited follow-up and possible that more adverse events may emerge. That's why close monitoring and surveillance is needed after immunization.
It may be given to age 18 years and above, but not for pregnant women. Those who have existing health conditions may get it upon doctor's assessment and recommendation. Requiring the usual 2 to 8 degrees Celsius vaccine refrigeration, it's also easier to store and transport. The FDA again reminds the public.
Hindi po siya pwedeng mabili sa market. So an emergency use authorization is not a marketing authorization.
Carolyn Bonkin, CNN Philippines.
Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have first Valenzuela Mayor Rex Gatchalian. Mayor Gatchalian, welcome to the source. Thank you for your time.
Hi, Pinky. Good morning. Thank you for having me, and good morning to all your televiewers.
Very exciting when I actually saw the simulation or your dry run over there in Valenzuela. So you have a number of stages, like stage 1, 2, 3. But let's start with this siguro. I know nag-uumpisa yan sa health check, hindi ho ba? Run us through very briefly the simulation over there in Valenzuela.
Well, Pinky, first of all, those different stages were the stages prescribed by DOH. We merely followed it and set it up. But it all starts with you registering. That's where the game starts. Early on last year, we launched our own QR code system. It's an online system. It has its own portal. You sign up, you get your QR code. We're going to use the same portal and the same database for this registration, given that it's already near universal. Every single adult Venezuelano has a QR code generated from that same portal. So we spruced up that portal. They logged in to valtrace.appcase.net, and they get to see a link there that they have to click, and then it automatically fills in all their basic information that they gave us during the contact tracing QR code registration. Then you put in all your medical history down there and you submit it to us. So that's the end of the portal. A couple of days before the actual vaccination day, somebody will call you and give you your schedule or will email you your schedule. You go into a selected school that has been prescribed as a vaccination site. There's 17 of them.
17.
And they were actually the ones choosing which one they want to go to, where they want to go to. It's in that app already. So they choose which one's closest to them. They go there, they do the minimum health check at the gate. But the first stage happens where they present the QR code, we print out their profile. We run them through the profile, making sure that Juan de la Cruz is Juan de la Cruz, or the person they are saying is them actually. So that's the first stage, registration. Then you go to an orientation room where you are oriented about vaccines, potential adverse effects, and you get to ask questions from a medical practitioner. Then if it's all clear there, you move into a screening room. That's where they do the basic vital signs for that day.
Okay.
They take your blood pressure.
But let me cut you there, Mayor.
Yeah.
Dun sa consultation part, so this is the part, hindi ho ba, where they will also find out which vaccine that will be used, or prior to even going to the site where the vaccination will take place, alam na nila kung ano yung vaccine na ibibigay sa kanila?
Well, actually, it's only during the briefing part that they are actually told, because the LGU Valenzuela, together with is one of the LGUs that bought AstraZeneca vaccines. We bought around 640,000 doses.
Yeah.
So that's around 320,000 Valenzuelanos, or 70% of our adult population. But we understand that the national government will be downloading more vaccines to fill in what we weren't able to buy. So magkakaroon ng mixture, or halo-halo yon. So we'll have to be one telling them during the briefing stage what they're going to get and what those potential adverse effects will be. So that happens during the consultation or the briefing stage.
Right. What if, I know that, Mayor, no, because almost all of the LGUs in NCR have deals with AstraZeneca. Again, that's good news because AstraZeneca got its EUA. Ano po. Pero of course, there's this possibility that maybe Sinovac will arrive in February if it gets the EUA, and then 50,000 dapat po yun. That's what Secretary Galvez was saying. In March, 1 million. April, maybe another 1 or 2 million. I guess my point is, may choice ho ba ang inyong mga constituents sakaling 2 vaccine or 3 ang dumating dito sa bansa?
Well, Pinky, may choice sila kung magpapabakuna sila. It's their body, it's their choice.
Okay.
But for the LGU, I think the more important role we'll have to play is to explain to them na itong mga bakuna na to, dumaan naman sa masusing pag-aaral ng FDA. So these have been given go signals already in the event that the other vaccines mabigyan ng EUA.
see.
Parang the challenge is with us already to make sure that very clear sa kanila na mabisa itong lahat at dapat nilang konsiderahin na para sa kanila to.
Yeah.
I don't think they can choose which brand, or else medyo magkakagulo kami.
Yun na nga po kasi baka mamaya magkaroon ng bakit doon sa ganitong barangay sila ganitong vaccine na nakuha nila, tapos sa kabilang barangay mas gusto namin yung ganung vaccine. That could be a potential problem or conflict.
That can be a potential problem, but that's why from now till July we have to embark on a information campaign. I said July because doon pa lang dadating naman yung AstraZeneca.
Right.
So before that, ibang brands yung makukuha namin kung maaga dadating sa national government. So it's really up to us to explain na bakit wag sila mangamba sa bakuna, because dumaan naman to sa FDA.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the national government will not be downloading any type of vaccine that hasn't gone through the rigorous checks of FDA.
So let's clear that up. If they decide not to push through with it because of a vaccine brand, what happens?
Okay. Well, we'll have to make them sign a waiver na they waive their rights. Pero syempre, Pinky, kami dito sa local government, we're responsive to their needs. We will probably have to put a caveat na in the end, let's say, dumating na yung sa LGU procured, kasi marami yun sa LGU procured.
Yes.
And okay sa kanila yun, we may have to visit them, but they have to go at the end of the line. Kasi syempre, nakapila na yung mga tao So, you don't want to be holding the line already.
Yes. Okay. So let's say they push through with it, and what happens in the end, ano po, I understand, Mayor Rex, pagkatapos po silang i-vaccinate, meron pang area that they can stay for 30 minutes to see how they're reacting to the vaccine. Ano po?
Yeah, but Pinky, before that, kanina sabi ko, after the consultation period, they go through a screening stage pa ulit. That screening stage, doctor yun nandun They'll go through all the different scenarios again based on what you presented, allergies, comorbidity. So there's a chance na doon pa lang baka sabihin na sa iyo ng doktor, hindi ka pwede muna kasi may ganito ka. But if you nakalusot ka doon, vaccination, and then there's a post-vaccination area where you will have to linger around for 30 to 45 minutes kasi yung mga medical practitioners will be watching out if you have adverse effects.
Okay.
In the event that you do, we'll have to bring you to the nearest hospital and we'll have to deal with that in that medical facility.
Right. I know that you said that there will be ambulances also available doon sa mga sites. I think, do you have 17? Am I correct, Mayor? 17 sites?
Correct. We have 17 vaccination sites.
Okay. So, after that, sabihin po natin tapos na. Tapos na rin yung 30 minutes. They get a passport for the vaccine or
Correct.
a passport and a pin that they've been vaccinated?
When you're all cleared to go, before you go home, we give you a passport. It says there when you got vaccinated and when the round 2 will be. Parang it's a reminder. But of course, we'll also be doing the email reminders to you when the time comes. But you get that passport para somehow pwede mo pakita na tapos na ako. And they get those buttonniers that says, bakunado na ako, tayo na sa ligtas na Valenzuela. It's part of that confidence-building exercise. We want them to wear it with pride because we want those na may mga hesitations or reservations to see na, look, if that person who just looks like me, I'm a regular citizen, got vaccinated, I should also.
What would be the challenges so far that you're seeing now? If you're saying that AstraZeneca may arrive sometime in July, no? So at least you're 5 months ahead in terms of the dry run and the simulation. Right now, ano ho yung nakikita niyong pinaka-problema?
Well, yung una mo, what you pointed out already, Pinky, that there seems to be a emerging, how do I say it, sentiment that they want one particular brand over the other particular brand.
Opo.
In fact, recently, let's not just focus on Sinovac. Recently, diba, there has been a spate of news about Pfizer and side effects in Norway, potentially. Some people took the headline but didn't read the body of the story. So now, meron rin silang parang, ayaw na rin namin sa Pfizer. So parang nagkakaroon ng sentiments na namimili yung tao kung alin ang gusto nilang vaccine. Of course, it's their right naman. I'm not saying na wag sila mamili, pero that will be a challenge, trying to make them understand that these vaccines all went through the rigorous checks of FDA, and they have all very good efficacy. So dapat pantay-pantay ang tingin. So that's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2, we opened the portal the day before the simulation a couple of days ago. We've noticed that the registration is quite slow, meaning a lot of people are still in that let me wait and see stage. Let me look at my neighbor first. It's massive information campaign. They know that they can register already, but the problem is they're really in that hold pattern, wanting to see. How to tip them into the yes column is going to be the challenge. Nandun naman sila sa, I personally would say, wala sila sa hard no. They're probably in the no with reservations.
Maybe.
So once we address those reservations, how do we tip them to the yes column?
Yeah. And maybe someone like you who will be vaccinated can boost confidence among your constituents. So you're ready, Mayor Rex. Anumang bakuna yon? O pipili ka rin?
Yes, actually, Pinky, nung the same night that we launched the portal, I registered and I tweeted it para makita ng mga residente na hindi ko sila itutulak ipapasok na magpabakuna, pero sarili ko hindi. I already said it publicly and I'll say it again. I can be the first patient to be vaccinated, and it doesn't matter which brand, as long as FDA approved siya. I always have that qualifier.
Yes.
I want it to go through, of course, FDA approval, pero it doesn't matter which brand.
Right. So far, wala ho kayong problema if it's Pfizer or AstraZeneca because that has been approved by the FDA. All right. So it's still quite a long way to go. And you mentioned a while ago that possibly your first batch from AstraZeneca will arrive sometime in July. You ordered about 640,000 doses, good for about 320,000 of your residents dahil nga po 2 dose po yan. Okay, let's move on just very quickly. Mayor Rex, dito po sa GCQ for NCR, nagmeeting po yung MMC, the Metro Manila mayors, of course, with the council. And was it a unanimous GCQ for NCR?
Pinky, that I cannot speak for the rest kasi what happened in that meeting was, unfortunately, I had to go to another meeting. So I cast my lot and I verbalized what I wanted, but I left immediately. For the case of Valenzuela, like I said, we wanted GCQ because we've seen an upsurge. No, we started the year with around 40 cases. Now we're up to 260. So it's manageable, but it's a big jump.
Right.
I think these are the after effects of the holiday surge. And number 2, our doctors are really worried about the new strain. They feel that it's knocking at the doorsteps of Metro Manila. And by us relaxing now, it might trigger a bigger problem than what it is right now. Right now, it's manageable. They just don't want it to get out of hand. So they want the situation to stabilize before we start talking about lowering the quarantine, at least for Valenzuela City.
But that's a big jump, Mayor, huh?
Malaki. We were quite shocked. Actually, at one point, it reached close to 300. So imagine mo, from 40 to 300. Doing the interviews with those that tested positive, they're all people who had some type of family reunions over the holidays. They didn't necessarily violate the protocol na walang social gathering kasi nasa 10 lang sila. Pero they went to a mall, came back with food. Later on, all of them started showing symptoms. So it's a bit scary kasi ito na nga yung sinasabi naming holiday surge. Hindi man lang malaki yung surge, pero it's still a big jump relatively for Valenzuela.
All right, we'll continue to get more information from you and updates with regards to Valenzuela in the next couple of weeks. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Valenzuela Mayor Rex Gatchalian.
Thank you, Pinky, and good morning.
When we return, we'll take a look at the preparations of Navotas City and what preparations are in place when the President announces the quarantine rules for February. The Source speaks to Navotas Mayor Toby Tiangco live after the break. Please stay tuned. Watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Now, let's speak to Navotas Mayor Toby Tiangco. Mayor Tiangco, welcome to The Source and thank you for your time.
Yes, good morning, Pinky.
Marami na pong mga LGU nag-umpisa na po ng dry run or simulation. I think you're going to do that today in your area.
Yes, we're going to do that today. Ang unang isi-simulate, ang simulation kasi natin is iba-ibang brand per brand because iba-iba yung temperature requirement ng brands. Ang pinakamahirap is yung sa Pfizer, so yun ang una namin isi-simulate. Ang una namin ginawa is last week, dumating na yung ultra-low temperature freezers natin. 3 po yung binili natin at saka mga 20 transport coolers. Kasi yung Pfizer, you have to maintain minus 70 degrees centigrade. So, yun ang unang isi-simulate na sigurado hindi masira yung cold chain, hindi ma-break yung cold chain ng minus 70 hanggang dumating siya sa vaccination center. And then aside from that, isi-simulate din yung katulad na nasabi ni Mayor Rex, yung guidelines ng DOH sa pag-interview, physical check-up, vaccination, and then yung pag-stay nila doon lang 30 minutes more para ma-observe. Lahat yan isa-simulate para makita kung yung time and motion na ginawa namin na 100 persons to be vaccinated per day per vaccination site ay talagang makakaya. Because of course, yung time and motion computation yun eh. In reality, maaring may mga instances na hindi masunod yun. And even if i-simulate natin yun, of course, we want to manage the expectations of people na expect na merong konting glitches yan. Kasi sa ibang bansa, nakikita natin na talagang ang challenge is doon sa pag-roll out.
Mayor, tell us more about that because it is quite different now that you're saying you're first going to do a simulation on Pfizer because of the, well, sensitivity niya in terms of temperature at minus 70.
Yes.
So your storage area, paano ho yun? Must be very near the vaccination site or what is the lead time from when you take out the Pfizer medicine, for example, in that storage facility to the point that it is vaccinated?
Ande, okay. Yung kasing Navotas maliit naman eh. Wala namang area dyan that will take you more than 1 hour to get to the next area, no? Number 1 yan. Number 2, kaya may transport cooler because inside the transport cooler, the minus 70 degrees is maintained.
I see.
No? Tapos, may thawing kasi yan eh. Because yung minus, imagine, yung freezer natin is minus 20, yung freezer sa bahay. Pag naglabas ka ng produkto sa labas ng freezer, pag i-defrost mo, gaano katagal, di ba? Eh ito, minus 70, tapos gagawin mong liquid. So medyo matagal-tagal yan. So kasama doon sa proseso na yon yung pagso o pagtunaw. So kasama yun doon sa dry run.
I see.
Kaya nga, mahirap ito ng konti yung sa Pfizer. So yun ang
yeah.
because based doon sa briefing ni Secretary Galvez, ang unang darating yata, one of the first that will arrive is Pfizer and Sinovac.
Yeah.
So yun ang sinisimulate namin ngayon.
So at least that's something that you're already looking into, because even Navotas has an agreement, a purchase agreement, right? It's also AstraZeneca.
Yes, but yung AstraZeneca is July pa darating yun eh. Earliest is July. Pero yung Pfizer supposedly is February na siya darating. So yun ang pinaghahandaan namin.
Okay, Pfizer and possibly even Sinovac.
Yes, yung Sinovac, yun ang sinasabi.
And you have reservations with Sinovac?
Ako personally or the residents of Navotas?
I'll start with you and then the residents of Navotas, because I know you did a survey on which brand they prefer.
Ako personally, I will be honest, no? Kasi hindi naman natin kilala yung brand na Sinovac. So medyo may reservations. Ako hindi katulad yung Pfizer, kilala natin. Yun, kaya mas may confidence tayo doon. So I'll be very honest na medyo may pangamba ako doon. But I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying personal. Kasi ang vaccination, personal choice yan. First of all, purely voluntary magpabakuna. Pangalawa, sa Navotas, iniisip namin, siguro dapat may choice din yung tao. Kung may choice siya kung magpapabakuna o hindi, dapat may choice din siya kung anong brand. Because nga doon sa survey na ginawa namin noong December 29 to January 3, 18% ang nagsabi na magpapabakuna sila kahit anong brand. So, ibig sabihin yung 18% na yun, pwedeng Sinovac, di ba? 17.9 ang nagsabi na hindi sila magpapabakuna, and 64.1 ang nagsabi, depende sa brand. And then, depende sa brand, tinanong namin isa-isa kung anong brand. Ang reason na ginawa namin yan is because gusto namin, pag bili namin ng bakuna, may basis kung bakit ganitong kadami yung bili mo ng brand na to. Bakit ganitong kadami yung bili mo ng brand na to. Kasi, pag bumili kami, tapos hindi ginamit ng aming mga kababayan, sayang lang yung pinambili namin. So that is the reason na ginawa namin yung survey noon. Tapos doon sa no, gusto namin malaman ano yung reason bakit no, so that ma-explain sa kanila na safe naman yung vaccine as long as may emergency use approval.
Yan po lumalabas yung vaccine choice dyan po sa inyo. They prefer Pfizer, they prefer AstraZeneca, and they prefer Moderna.
Yeah, actually, pinakamataas dyan, Pfizer. The only reason na mas konti yung bibili namin na Pfizer is because merong bibilin yung national government. And yung sa AstraZeneca, that is 100,000 doses, good for 50,000 residents.
Okay, so ano yan?
The reason we got...
Got it, okay. 50,000 ano yan, residents and 100,000 doses yung AstraZeneca. Okay, we will correct that.
Yeah, the reason we got that was because di ba, ang nagsabi nga na kahit anong brand is 18%. Ang nagsabi ng AstraZeneca is 3 point something. So 3% times 64.1, that is about 2% of the total population. So yun ang minultiply namin doon sa total population ng Navotas. So may basis kung bakit yan yung mga ino-order namin na brand. Yung Moderna naman, yan yung basis nung matitira na doon sa survey results na may gusto ng Moderna. So we have already signified our intent sa Moderna, but people have to understand na hindi pwedeng basta-basta bibiling local government eh. Because kahit mag-approach ka doon sa pharmaceutical company, they will say they can only sell to you pag pumirma na yung national government kasi yung pagbenta nila sa'yo dapat part ng national vaccination program.
Right. At saka hindi ho ba, it's been clear so far no, that kung mag-order po kayo, kasabay ng order ng national government. Hindi ho ba?
Yes, it's a tripartite agreement.
Yes.
And I would want to make it clear, kahit yung in-order namin, hindi kami ang mamimili kung sino ang uunahin. Ang sigurado lang doon, mapupunta sa Navotas resident, pero yung prioritization ng DOH, yun pa rin ang masusunod. Number 1, medical frontliner. Number 2, indigent senior citizen. Number 3, all other citizens. Number 4, indigent residents. Yung prioritization na rin na yun ang masusunod.
Mayor Toby, what happens if you receive a certain type of vaccine and it's not the vaccine that your constituents want?
No, we will make it available also. Kasi iba-iba yung pananaw ng tao. Meron ibang tao, ang attitude nila, ay, mag-iintay ako pero dapat yung vaccine na gusto ko. Yung iba naman, ay, gusto ko na magpa-vaccine kahit anong brand, okay na sa akin. So, syempre, pag may dumating, we will offer it. Kasi nagpapalista na tayo ngayon eh. Nag-fill up na sila online. So, we will make it available. All brands na paratingin ng national government, we will make it available. Kasi meron din naman talaga na kahit anong brand, okay lang sa kanila, basta magpa-vaccine na sila.
So basta they have a choice.
Yes, definitely. Kasi kung may choice ka kung magpabakuna o hindi, dapat may choice ka. Kasunod na nun, yung kung anong brand ang gusto mo. Para mas madami mahikayat. Kasi kung hindi ganun gagawin natin, sabihin nila, kung hindi yung brand na gusto ko, wag na lang o mag-intay na lang ako. Mas malaki mawawala sa atin kasi gusto natin mas madami ang mapabakunahan.
All right, so the dry run begins today. You're gonna start with Pfizer. Just a quick jump into this issue doon sa quarantine status, Mayor Toby. So GCQ ang sinasabi, maiiwan daw tayo sa GCQ sa Metro Manila. What is your take on this?
Yes, tama yun. Actually, nung nag-meeting naman kami, parang given na yun. Hindi naman, the meeting was not to discuss whether GCQ or magluluag. The meeting was to discuss supposedly yung pag-allow doon sa mga 10 years old and above. Pero a day before that, nagbigay na ng statement si President Duterte. So ang nangyari doon sa meeting is nag-present na lang yung DOH at saka si Secretary Galvez. So Secretary Galvez gave us an update on the vaccination program, which is very good. I think they're progressing well. At yung DOH simple lang sinabi sa amin na talagang tumataas yung cases natin. No? So sinabi sa amin na dapat mag-ingat, dapat paigtingin yung contact tracing, at lahat ng health protocols. So sana maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan na yung Metro Manila mayors maingat because isa lang ang dahilan. Ayaw na natin bumalik doon sa mas mahigpit. Hindi nakakayanin ng negosyante, hindi nakakayanin ng manggagawa, hindi nakakayanin ng gobyerno na bumalik doon sa mas mahigpit. So kaisa kami na gusto namin buhayin yung ekonomiya, unti-unti lang ang pagbubukas para hindi mag-surge yung kaso o biglang tumaas yung kaso dahil talagang isa lang, hindi na talaga kakayanin na bumalik doon sa mas mahigpit.
Are you watching out for this UK variant over there in your area, sir?
Yes, we are monitoring it. Knock on wood, maswerte naman, wala pa naman. But tumaas din talaga yung cases, no? From a low of 36 in December 3, I think today we are at 70 plus, no?
Dumoble.
Ang control naman, kaya lang unti-unting tumataas. Imagine you just add 2 or 3 cases per day, in 10 days, that's 30 cases, di ba? So, kailangan talaga mag-ingat habang iniintay yung bakuna.
Alright. Navotas Mayor Toby Tiangco, sir. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Yes, thank you. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.